Hey, what's up, everybody? Or whoever's out there in the YouTube world or Facebook world. We got anybody in here today? Couple folks, couple folks coming in. Nice, nice. Um, okay, so I'll go ahead and get started. Hopefully, we get some folks trickling in. Also, you guys, as always, let me know if the audio is weird or anything. I recently just discovered something weird in my setup that I didn't know was even set a certain way, and it made a big difference. But yeah, hopefully you can hear my direct audio good today. So I'll give you a little. You should be getting a direct signal there. I don't know. I'm not gonna sweat it too bad. But what's up, Ross? So as you guys are coming in, thanks everybody for joining in. Thanks, Ross. Um, Crisp, nice, good. That's the sweet, awesome. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Ross. Appreciate you guys. What's up, Nick Bell in the house? All the heavy hitters from the Line 6 fam are here today. All the great guitar players. So, for those of you who may not be familiar with this feature today, I just thought I would talk about the secret reverbs in the DL4 Mark II. This is a cool pedal just already by itself, but you know, I mean, the original DL4 was really cool, but the new one has some extra features and new delays as well. So for those of you that don't have one or haven't checked it out yet and are curious, or if you already have one and just don't really know anything about this feature, I'm gonna show this to you, and hopefully I can remember all the little intricate things you can do, because the DL4 Mark II is really full of cool features and stuff. All the great players and me, says Ross. That's real funny, Ross. That's real funny, man. You're my hero, dude. I wish I could play half as good as you. Okay, so before I jump over to the DL4, I'm just going to hop over here to my... what's up, Junior? I'm going to hop over here just so you can see my... Helix editor, because I am going through the Helix today, just because, as you all know, life is 8,000 million times easier when you have a Helix integrated into your rig for anything, live streaming or recording or just whatever. So just so you guys know what I'm working with here, you'll notice that I have an effects loop block added to my signal chain here, and that's all I've got going on. I do have a little distortion pedal that I may or may not mess with today. It is the new Dark Dove fuzz. That's one of the newer overdrive pedals. It sounds pretty cool. It's kind of weird for me because it's not something I use much, but I put it in this thing just because I was demoing some new stuff. Got the Elmsley amp, and then I have two different cabinets that I may switch back and forth, but that's not really important today. The main thing is that you see I have this effects loop set in here, and I'm just using effects loop 1 and 2. I mean, effects send and return 2. So I just set it up like, you know, a virtual rig, and that's where I have my DL4 going. So even though you can't see my actual Helix in the room, right over here, and I have a foot switch marked DL4 Mark II going to that effects loop, so I can just access it on and off like another foot switch in Helix, but it's actually the physical DL4 Mark II, which you can kind of see here, but now you should be able to see really well. I apologize, I'll just turn that off real quick. I apologize if the lighting is kind of weird on this. I just went with natural light for this because I don't know, man. My studio is just full of stuff, and I have a bunch of lights, and none of the lights was either not enough or way too much, and I just said forget it, I'm just going to go with some natural light. So I hope all you guys can see that pretty well. So here's what we're working with, and you saw how the Helix is ran through. So if you guys don't already know about the secret reverb feature in the DL4 Mark II, the first thing I want to do is just show you how to access that. And I'm kind of scared here because I know I'm going to mess up this little preset that I had set right before we started this thing. But that's okay. That's okay. So I'll just go ahead and select you know, a foot switch here. And in order to access the secret reverbs in this guy, you're going to go to the Alt Legacy button, which is this little button right here. You want to push it, it's lighting up. So that's the Alt Legacy button. This is also how you toggle back and forth between the new models and then the classic or vintage or whatever we call them, legacy delays that are in here. Like the legacy delays are the ones from the original DL4, and then of course the newer ones are all like HX model stuff. So you've got all of it, man. There's just so many delays on this thing. It's pretty sick. So that button, what you're going to use to turn your delay on and off, or your reverbs on and off. You hold down the Alt Legacy and then switch over to whatever particular reverb or delay you want. Now, so I do have it on. I pressed it. I went over here to the analog mod / Elephant Man delay. The reason I did that is just because it had a reverb that was kind of easy to work with, and that was the Hall delay. So we have now accessed the delay. Then if I can remember how to, let's see. Anything you do after this is going to just like basically reset. So hear that delay there? That's the Hall, or that reverb, I'm sorry. The Hall reverb. Now, what's cool about this is you'll notice I have the delay mix turned all the way down right now. And I just did that so you could hear the reverb itself. Hear that nice Hall reverb. Now, if I turn the mix up like this, we'll start to hear that delay creeping in. It's like that nice analog. You hear that delay. So I can just turn the mix down again, and we don't have any delay. We just have the reverb. Now, if I want to change the different things about the reverb setting, I'm just going to hold the Alt Legacy button down again and turn whatever controller I want, whatever dial I want to turn to change it. Now, so first let me just go through what each of these do. So the first one is going to be your decay. So when I hold the Alt Legacy button and turn this all the way this way, you'll notice the decay is very short. Sounds less like a hall and more like a room. So hold it back down again and then turn this to whatever I want it to be set to. So now you're hearing more. And you know, just make sure you're holding that button down. Now you hear all that decay that I've added. Longer decay, I should say. The repeats knob does when you hold down the Alt Legacy button. Now, the next controller, the tweak knob, as they call it, is going to actually control a different parameter of the reverb itself. And each of the secret reverbs is this tweak knob is going to control something different. So you need to have like the cheat sheet or your full-on manual when you're using this, so you kind of know what you're doing. Now, in this case, the Hall reverb, which is the one I'm on right now, This controls the pre-delay. Okay, so if I hold this down, turn it all the way this way. Hold it down again, go all the way this way. It's essentially just like the time between the playing the note and the delay actually, or the reverb actually kicking in. So that's what pre-delay controls. They all do different stuff. For instance, the Searchlights reverb, if you use that one, it's gonna control the modulation, mix, and depth as you turn the tweak knob. The Octoverb is gonna change the intensity of the reverb. Double Tank's gonna change the modulation depth. Particle verb, it's going to change the condition. So if you guys have ever messed around with particle reverb, you know about that. You know, you have what is it, stable, and gosh, the three modes of particle verb. It's crazy, but all I remember right now is stable because I'm in front of people talking, so I can't remember all that. Can't remember my words. But anyway, like I said, it does something different with each reverb. So there's that. Now, moving on to the Tweezer knob. This is cool because what you can do with this one, when you hold the Alt Legacy, of course, is change the order of the reverb and the delay in your chain. So, for instance, if I hold it down and I go all the way to this side, that's going to put the reverb before the delay, okay? To hear a radical difference like this, but I definitely can. It's like you're getting the delay on your reverb rather than reverb on your delay. I know I have a lot of reverb going there, but I want you to make sure you guys can hear it through your speakers. Sorry, I got carried away there. Now I'm going to hold it down again and go to 12 o'clock. Now this is going to put your reverb and delay in parallel in your chain. So you're just basically getting equal parts of both. I think it's kind of a cleaner way to run two effects like that. You might get a little more of your, I don't know, it's like you don't really have the two effects affecting each other as much, so I think it kind of helps keep your sound from getting too muddy. guessed, probably, hold it down again, go all the way to the right side with the tweeze. Now our delay is before our reverb. So you're essentially just, you're adding reverb. Sorry, you're adding reverb to your delay. So I'll play a little bit of that now. So there you have it. The reverb is after the delay on that one. Now, our last knob here, the mix knob, when we're just strictly dealing with our reverbs, is, as you would imagine, is just going to control the mix. So obviously the mix is not at 0 right now. I turned the mix down with the delay, so which is a good example of just bringing up when you turn this all the way down without holding the Alt Legacy button, you're essentially just controlling the delay features or the delay parameters. So if I want to control the reverb, always hold the Alt Legacy button. Hold it down, go this way. We've got tons of it. There's like a delay on it. We have a totally dry signal. You can hear that good old Elmsley amp coming through, sounding so good. I love the way that thing sounds in the Helix. Okay, so that's how you control each of those. And again, if I want to change reverbs or something like that, I'm just going to hold this down and go select something else. So remember, the Alt Legacy button is what essentially you need to push that down to control everything. Sorry, I can't talk today. Now, the reason I have this expression pedal set up, and I know this is probably not the side you normally would put your expression pedal, but due to just cables going everywhere and all the stuff, the mess I have in this room, I put it on this side. So, among other features, the expression pedal can be applied to the reverbs and the delays, and I thought it was worth mentioning for this, even though it's not specific to the reverbs. But what you can do, and I'll just give you a quick example. So obviously I've got it, I don't know if anything's saved from what I did earlier. It did. So basically when you set it to the heel position, you can set a number of things however you want it. So there's a little bit of delay. Now, it's when you go to your toe position, I still have something saved there, but basically all you do is you go to your toe position and then turn any one of these to a new position, and it's going to create a new setting. I've got all this reverb back and stuff. And it goes right back to how I had it. Was that little bit of mix and almost totally dry. So just to give you a full physical example of how that works, you're going along. We're gonna go to the heel position and put our mix somewhere here. Maybe let's roll off of that mix a bit, and maybe let's slow it down some too. Didn't know how I had this set before. So just that's actually a nice setting for the delay. Now, I'm going to go to, and let's get that reverb back on there, but we don't want that much mix. Okay, so there's just a little bit of verb in there, a little bit of delay. Now then, what I'll do is go up to the toe position, push this all the way forward, and now let's say I want a lot more reverb. So I'll turn the mix up. And maybe just to be stupid, I'll say let's add some repeats. I mean, that's obviously too much of something, but I'm just trying to give you guys an example. Take that mix out of there. Okay, so now we're totally saturated in reverb and delay. But check it out. When I roll off the toe, or onto the heel position, it's back to that actually really nice, usable delay and reverb setting. So, you can use, and you can do other stuff with the expression pedal as well. But there's like a memory in there, you set it one way, and you're able to use two effects, reverb and delay. So you can set them one way with the heel position and then go to the toe position and totally change all the parameters within that setting and essentially get a whole different sound. That's pretty cool too, how you get that, how delay makes that weird sound when you change the time. Pretty sure somebody could come up with a creative way to use that. Let's see. Did I miss any important questions? Nobody says my sound is screwed up, so anytime we want to edit the reverb mode, we have to hold the legacy button. And Nick Bell got you on that one, Jose, but yes, correct. Thanks, Nick, for jumping in there on that. Now then, we're about done, but let's just have a little fun. We'll throw that. Let's throw that fuzz pedal on here, and I'm rolling back to my heel position now just to see how that sounds. I feel like that's a nice moderate level of reverb and delay. If I have to go into something more articulate, you know, I go back to my heel position, and if I want to create like some crazy ambient type thing, I just go to the toe position. And I'm just using one setting here because it's not necessarily about the different models. It's more how to access it and use it. But again, like I said, if you have your cheat sheet, it gives you a rundown of all of these. And I'm just gonna keep it real. Let's see. One of my favorites is but the cave reverb, which is on here, that's actually one of my favorite reverbs. That setting is kind of wacky. So again, what we would do is hold the Alt Legacy button. Let's do a recap. I'll make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Hold the Alt Legacy button. Decay down a bit, or a lot. Turn the mix all the way down on the delay. Myself think. Then I'm going to turn the mix down on the reverb. Now we're starting to sound nice. That's that good ambient cave reverb. Tweak button, like I said, this controls a different parameter in each reverb. But on the cave reverb, again, it's going to be the pre-delay. So I can go. You know, maybe I want to move it over this way. Kind of hard to hear with all that overdrive. That. I'm all about the cave reverb, so I'm just messing around with this tweak feature. Put it right there. See how the delay sounds with it. This is that's pretty nice. Just having fun here now, everybody. But that's it in a nutshell. Kind of a big nutshell, maybe. But hopefully that was eye-opening for some of you. I see some folks stuck around, so maybe this was something you didn't know about or hadn't figured out how to use yet. So if you don't have an expression pedal connected to your DL4 Mark II, you're missing out on even more cool features. And so I'll do some more stuff with DL4 Mark II in the future, but this was something I thought worth talking about. So I appreciate all of you guys hanging out, listening. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Ross. You guys are great. And thanks everybody for hanging out and watching the whole thing. I appreciate it. Don't forget to sign up for our one-on-one lessons. We call them Skype lessons, but we can also use Zoom or FaceTime. In fact, I prefer to use those. So if you'd like to do a one-on-one version with myself or Nick Bell of basically what we're doing here, you can sign up for that at our website. And also, don't forget to check out my music, Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. So if you like my desperate attempts to play guitar, please go check out my music. I would appreciate it. If you listen to it a lot, I might could make 8 cents this year. So thanks everybody. Thanks Nick. Have fun with your DL4 MkII and those secret reverbs. And as always, stick a fork in me because I am done. Peace.